All of the best TV shows have at least one episode that is completely garbage, so here are the lowest rated episodes of great TV shows. Starting with the most obvious pick, the final season of Game of Thrones was a complete disaster, and the final episode has a 4 out of 10 average rating on IMDb. And even though Game of Thrones is one of my top 3 favorite TV shows of all time, I cannot defend this episode or the final season at all. Everything was so rushed, all the reveals in this final episode were so unsatisfying. This episode absolutely destroys character arcs that were in the works for years of all the previous seasons. Like, literally so many things go wrong in this final episode, a true disaster. The final season of Stranger Things releases in a few weeks, and the show has incredibly consistent ratings. Almost all the episodes have an 8 out of 10 or higher rating, but you all know which one is the lowest rated episode. Season 2, episode 7, The Lost Sister, which is just one of the most out of place TV show episodes of all time for multiple reasons. First of all, it just takes 11 outside of the main storyline on this random side quest to meet this girl named Callie, who also has superpowers and was from the same Hawkins laboratory that 11 was experimented on in. But this was literally just the Duffer Brothers trying to create a spin-off TV show, and then everybody absolutely hated this episode, so they completely abandoned every single character from this. I think the real reason this episode is hated so much is that they placed it right after an insane cliffhanger, right when the story was getting to its peak after episode 6. Like, as you can see, episode 6, a 9.1 rating. Episode 8, 9.2, 9.3 for the finale, and they just jam in this random side story in the middle of it. Season 3 of The Mandalorian was such a massive downgrade from the first 2 seasons of the show, and the tone completely shifts, and it's no surprise that the 2 lowest rated episodes of the entire series come in season 3. One episode has a 6.4 out of 10 rating, and that is the episode Guns for Hire, where the Mandalorian and Grogu land on this random planet, and they are met by Lizzo and Jack Black, just giving you the unfunniest jokes you'll ever hear in your life for like a 35-minute episode. And really, all the problems with season 3 can be summed up with this one episode. Like, there's none of that like bounty hunting monster of the week stuff from the first 2 seasons. The space western vibes are all gone, and instead you're just going for the lowest brow jokes possible and trying to farm cute Grogu moments that nobody cares about anymore. And I do really hope the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is really good next year, even though the trailer didn't do much for me. But if the movie does flop and underperform, I think we can easily blame it all on season 3 losing a lot of the audience. Looking at the episode ratings for The Office is always just so funny because the drop off after Michael Scott left is insane. Seasons 8 and 9 were running on fumes. By the way, the website is called Series Graph. I know people are always asking about that. But as you can see here, the lowest rated episode of the entire series is season 8, episode 19. That episode is Get the Girl, where Andy goes to Tallahassee to confess his love to Aaron, and at the same time, Nelly, the new boss, is coming to Scranton to take over. This really doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Like, Nelly was an absolutely insufferable character when she was introduced. She was never going to replace Michael Scott, but she wasn't even a good character on her own right. And Andy Bernard, I did like when he was first introduced in the series for the first couple seasons, but in seasons 8 and 9, he also becomes incredibly annoying and just completely changes who he is as a person. The Office is still a show I'm going to always love, but when I rewatch it next time, I'm definitely not going to be watching the last 2 seasons, or probably right when Michael leaves, that's when I'm going to quit. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the highest rated series on all of IMDb, but it does have one episode that has a 6.8 rating, and that's season 1, episode 11. You probably all know what this is if you've seen the show. That episode is, of course, The Great Divide, where literally all that happens is that Aang is just trying to help 2 different clans that are currently fighting with each other cross this canyon. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think the episode's that bad from my memory, but I do understand why it's the lowest rated of the series. Pretty much every other episode pushes forward the story or gives you a lot of new information about a character or their backstory, so having one random filler where pretty much nothing happens or no progress is made, yeah, people aren't gonna like it. Now, I know I said this is the worst rated episodes of great TV shows, but let's just take a quick detour to She-Hulk, because these ratings are crazy. It has one episode with a 4.7. I've only ever made it through the first 4 episodes of the entire series, and those are some of the highest rated, and that's where I dropped it, so clearly I was not missing out on much. Let me know in the comments, is it really this bad though? The ratings graph for Star Wars The Clone Wars is absolutely hilarious, because anybody that's watched the entire show probably will agree with me, this is one of the greatest Star Wars pieces of media we've ever gotten. But you have to remember, yeah, the first 2.5 seasons are just incredibly mediocre. Pretty much every episode has like no stakes whatsoever. None of the episodes are straight up terrible. It only has 2 episodes that have a rating of 6 out of 10, and that's the lowest. First of these 2 episodes is Bombad Jedi from season 1, which deals with Jar Binks going undercover and saving Padme. Y'all are hating on my boy Jar Jar, that's kind of crazy. But I do agree with the other lowest rated episode of the show, because it's one of the Martz sister arc episodes. Again, just placing that right before the absolute peak finale of this series was absolute crazy work. It's just super mediocre, and I do not care about the Martz sisters. Invincible is an incredibly consistent show ratings wise. It doesn't have a single episode episode under a 7 out of 10 rating, which I'm not gonna lie, I think some of these season 2 ratings are a bit generous, but still a very good show. I absolutely love it. The only reason I'm even bringing up Invincible in this video is because the episode that does have the lowest rating is the one titled "In About 6 Hours I Lose My Virginity to a Fish." I like to think people just rated it lowly because they're like, what the hell is this title? The last season of You just aired earlier this year, and the series finale has a 5.3 out of 10, which I think is absolutely insane. Like, I think it was a pretty good finale, honestly, and I really like season 5 overall. It's not perfect, it's way weaker than the first 2 seasons of the show easily. Without getting into any spoilers, I think it's really the only way the series could have ended. There's a few dumb things that do happen, a character lives that shouldn't have, I think, but otherwise this rating is absolutely insane to me. X-Men 97 has one episode with a straight up 7.0 out of 10 rating, besides the rest of the series being pretty much peak. I do definitely agree with this being the weakest of the entire show. I remember watching this one and being like, oh, do I even care about this new X-Men series? Is this even going to be any good? And then the next episode, of course, is Remember It with Gambit's moment. That's absolutely peak. Ted Lasso season 3 did take a long time to get going. I honestly think some of these ratings for like the first 4 to 5 episodes are kind of generous. I did not care about any of the Keeley storyline whatsoever. Its lowest rated episode comes at episode 8 of season 3, called We'll Never Have Paris. It deals with Ned's old wife going on like this magical romantic trip with her therapist or something like that. I forget exactly what happens, but it is kind of a whack episode, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully, since this show is coming back for season 4, I hope they can stick the landing because the ending of season 3 was really good. I just hope it doesn't undo it. The first 3 seasons of The Boys only had one episode under an 8 out of 10 average rating, which is absolutely insane. Season 4 definitely drops off in quality a little bit, but I feel like these ratings and the internet in general were a bit too harsh on it. Yes, they were dragging everything with Homelander and Billy Butcher for way too long. One of them should have died in season 3 for sure. I really still thought season 4 was pretty enjoyable overall. Like, I'm surprised, not that 7.1 is a terrible rating or anything, but I feel like all these episodes are actually pretty solid. In case you're wondering, that episode is titled Life Among the Septics, of course, because it's The Boys are going to have a name like this, but let me know if I'm alone in this in the comments below. Did you enjoy season 4 of The Boys, or do you think it really fell off? Yeah, I wouldn't call The Witcher a great TV show, but this rating fall off is absolutely insane. I really liked season 1 of The Witcher. I thought it was a really good new fantasy show. Then season 2, I agree with these ratings again. It definitely was worse than season 1, but still had some enjoyable moments. I hadn't read the books at this point, so I didn't really mind the changes they made, and honestly, now that I've read some of the books, I don't really care for the books either that much. But then you get to season 3 where things take a big turn for the worse, and I'm not gonna lie, I could not get past like the first episode of season 3. Like, I got mostly through the episode and I was like, yeah, I'm just dropping this show. I don't care anymore. I don't understand what's happening with the storylines. Everything was such a mess, and it seems like I made a good decision because now obviously with them replacing the actor for Geralt, no longer being played by Henry Cavill, now it's Liam Hemsworth, the ratings have absolutely tanked. A lot of this is probably just review bombing of people that are mad about the recasting, but honestly, I can't really blame them. If there's one thing you know about me, I'm gonna glaze Dune or Attack on Titan any chance I get. Attack on Titan's lowest rated episodes have an 8.1 rating, absolute peak. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you made it this far. If you want to see me rank the most perfect superhero movie trilogies of all time, click the video at the top, or if you want to see all my movie reviews on the channel, click the video at the bottom, and thank you for watching.